G'day and welcome to the episode. In this episode, we're going to look at the ongoing house build that we've been working on. We'll wrap up this week's progress, and at the end, I'll also take a look at our fresh produce and what we were able to harvest from our garden and also from our ducks. And before we do all of that, intro. Okay, so we're about halfway through the floor, putting the floor in, but there's been a few comments from a few people after I posted the last video that made me realize that I'm not getting quite technical enough with all of this, so I'm just going to go a little bit more techie, not too deep into it, because it's an unusual build. We're living on a tropical island in the middle of a weird coronavirus lockdown, which has been eased a little bit, thankfully, by the police, so workers can go back to work. So the lads are back here, which is great. But there are a few other things that became really apparent really quickly when we started the build that makes it unusual. The very first thing is that all of the lumber has been cut by a chainsaw. So short of putting it all through a thicknesser or planing it all for like 3 weeks, we're going to have bent wood. We're calling them bananas because they turned up straight and then they bent because they were cut wet and all of that stuff. So there's a few challenges with that, and that extends up to the floor. The cement sheets that we've been using that are 4 foot by 6 foot and 3/4 of an inch thick are not cut square, and they're not even cut straight. There's slight curves in the cut lines and everything. So we're doing the very best we can with the materials we've got. Thankfully, the local lads are really good at adapting to these kinds of situations. I'm definitely not, and I'm definitely a novice. I basically have never built a house before, and I'm very lucky that we live in an age where we've got YouTube and Google, and I can look stuff up and figure out how to do stuff and copy the Australian standard building code or the American building code. Look up how-to videos on YouTube, basically teaching myself how to build a house from watching YouTube videos. Weird, but we do have building permits, we do have engineering drawings, it's all official, it's all above board. It's just the actual execution, because of the materials, is kind of tricky, but we're getting there. As you can see, the lads are doing really well. Look at that, we've got floor. It's really strong, it's really braced up well. The engineer said that we should put bracing down the bottom here, so we've got, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we've got cross bracing in all of these areas here that stops any kind of movement of the stumps. The floor is super strong, and it's nailed down with cement nails, which are the strongest nails we can get, and it's then epoxied together. I'm totally on the wrong side to film that, sorry. Wait, here we go. You can see Ronald's doing the epoxying. That's the shower base just there. So, we're slowly getting there. And John is over there adding more wood so that we can do the next section of flooring. So we're getting there. It's hot work, and you might remember that we lost the Parao sail in the typhoon. It got destroyed. So the Parao sail has been repurposed, and it's now the shade. Sort of. It's so destroyed that there's hardly any sail there. But we've added some palm fronds up there, so we've got a little bit of shade for when it's like midday, just to try and take the edge off that really strong tropical sun. But the lads don't complain, they just keep on powering through. And when I say we are building this, I actually mean that I've got no idea what I'm doing. I'm helping out. I'm like the labourer that helps out the builders. They know what they're doing, which is good, and we're getting there bit by bit. Should finish the floor this week, and then we'll be able to start the walls next week. And here's a little video of what we've been doing this week so far. And there you have it. That brings you up to speed on the progress that we made this week with the house build. We've got all of the cement sheets now down, so the floor is complete, which is great, because those cement sheets were super heavy, and I'm glad we don't have to lift any more of them. There was 21 of them, and that was enough. So we've got all of that done. Next week we start prepping the wood for the walls, and then we'll start building the walls. I'll post a video of all of that once it's done. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Please click on the subscribe button, and hitting the like button will help me out as well. And in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic, please stay safe, and I wish you and your family and friends all the very best. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.